Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Moon Podcast, where I talk about the value of the things we need and the people we depend on in order to get them. To me, I think one good example is a vegetable, such as the broccoli, tasty and nutritious. We don't often know where most of the things we buy come from, or how they get to our shops. In fact, most of the time we are completely oblivious to the people involved with everything in between. This is one reason why I think we take a lot of things for granted. So it is here that I will be expressing my immense gratitude to every person we depend on. It's because we need them and they need us. We don't live alone. There are people out there doing the jobs that we are not doing, or perhaps we are not equipped to do or cannot do. Either way, we as humans, we complement each other as we work together. So it is from here that I will begin. In order for the broccoli to reach our dinner table, it has to go through a long process that involves a lot of people. The broccolis are grown on a farm. The broccolis are picked up by pickers and then packaged. The broccolis are purchased by a wholesaler in bulk to sell it to the supermarket. A wholesaler is a distributor who sells products to a retailer. A retailer is a person or a store, usually a brick and mortar store or an online shop. When the agreements between the farmer and the wholesaler are made, the broccolis are then delivered to a supermarket and the greengrocers with a truck driver. The shop assistants unload the trucks and then stack the shelves with the broccoli for the customers to buy. Now, let's take a look at the broccoli itself. They start off as seeds. They need to be planted. They need to be watered regularly. They need fertilizers. They can be grown during summer and winter. Of course, it will grow quicker in the summer than in the winter due to seasonal sunshine. It can take 4 to 10 months before the broccoli can be harvested. However, before the broccoli can be harvested, it must be protected from pesticides and insects with the use of pesticides. But that's not all. There is more to all of this. Someone has to make sure the right pesticides are used to make sure our crops don't fail. We need scientists and chemists for that. Someone has to pick them. They have to bend down, push down the big leaves and cut the stem with a big knife, toss the broccoli into a box over and over again for 8 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week, for as little as the minimum wage. The farmer needs a good tractor to plow his fields and to remove the weeds and improve the soil. Someone has to design the tractor. Someone has to manufacture and maintain the tractor. In order for the broccoli to get to the shops, they need to be delivered. Truck drivers drive the trucks that deliver them. Someone had to design the truck and maintain them. Mechanics are needed to fix them when they break down. Someone had to train all these people to drive them and learn how to fix them. Once the broccoli gets to the shops, someone has to unload the trucks and stack the shelves. When the customer buys the broccoli, shop assistants have to work with customers to make the exchanges with the broccoli for the cash at the cash register. And there we have it. The journey of the broccoli is right there. All of this for one broccoli. But there is more. There are regulations in place to make sure everyone does everything that is expected of them. Someone has to keep everything in check. There are, for example, health and safety inspectors to make sure people follow guidelines. There may be possibly be even more people required that we don't even know about. How do you know, you ask? Now, you might be wondering, why would I want to talk about such a topic? What has this got to do with me? In fact, I too am involved in this process. How? I'll tell you. I am a database manager in a recruitment firm who specialize in finance. Our clients are businesses who work in retail, fast-moving consumer goods, FMCG for short, luxury and hospitality, and a few other industries. These include the very supermarkets you buy your vegetables from. My job is to code up candidates who are accountants and auditors who apply for the jobs that our clients provide for my firm so that the consultants I work with will find the ideal candidate they need for their businesses. I have to make sure the system is up to date with clients, candidates, and the organizations they work in. The team of recruitment consultants depend on me to make sure the database is fully updated with all the information they need to make placements. I depend on the team to provide me with the data so that I can carry out the data entry tasks first. There cannot be a database without data. The data has to be up to date, otherwise it's useless. The data has to come from somewhere. Then I code up the candidates based on the type of work they do, the industries they work in, their current and desired salaries, availability, and notice periods. I also work as a compliance officer to make sure our candidates are eligible to live and work in Britain. So I check to see if they are qualified accountants and auditors so that our clients get the candidates they need. I'll remind you here that our clients are businesses. Businesses need accountants to keep a record of their finances and make sure they pay their taxes, etc. We depend on accountants to manage our paychecks. So yes, it's an important job. It has to be done. Someone has to do it, and that someone, in this case, is me. However, that is not the only thing I do. I am also an author and a comic artist. I need a computer to type books in, along with converting my drawings into digital art. I need an editor to make sure my work isn't garbage. I need a book designer to compile the book into a document that can be purchased in print or an ebook format. I need an online bookshop to upload my book to so that people can buy my books. That way I and the online bookshop can get a little profit. This way everyone is happy. Despite having said all of this, it is not enough to only focus on the infrastructure that brings the broccoli to the dinner table. All the people that are not directly involved are just as important as well. These people have families, friends, and children who need one another. There are children who depend on these people. Children are the future, which is why we must invest in them and take care of them. Teachers are needed to educate children. Babysitters are needed to look after children from time to time. Builders and architects are needed to design and build the houses we live in, along with all the buildings we need to serve a purpose, whether it be from schools to hospitals. Speaking of hospitals, we need a healthcare service. We need doctors and nurses. Doctors to diagnose a sickness in order to prescribe the medication we need to cure us of such sicknesses, and nurses to take care of the sick and the elderly. Speaking of the elderly, some pensioners need gardeners to do their gardening because they lack the physical strength to do it by themselves. There's more. Everyone needs gas, water, electricity, and the internet. Gas to keep our homes warm and for cooking, water for bathing, cleaning, and drinking, electricity for the lights, washing machines, fridges, and all other electrical appliances, and of course the internet, which connects us to the rest of the world to communicate with people, read blogs, listen to music or podcasts, watch videos, etc. There are so many people who work to make sure we have all our essentials. If that wasn't enough, all these people will need some form of entertainment, leisurely activity as a way to relax and recover from their work. Without culture, the world would be a stagnant place. Otherwise, how else can we express ourselves in order to connect with other people? It's the very reason, as I mentioned previously, why we love art and music. People who like to read need authors and writers to write things that catch their interests. People want to listen to music, so we need singers, songwriters, musicians, and people who make the instruments too. People need actors for a theatre. Nowadays we have movies and the cinema, the cameraman, editors, prop designers, etc. One can only look at the end credits of any movie to see how many people were involved in its production. All these things are provided to us by people we need, and these people depend on us. My point is, it is not moral to downplay or devalue anyone because of their jobs or how much or little they make. They are carrying out a duty. Just because someone is paid more than others doesn't mean anyone who's paid any less is less important as a human being. We all have responsibilities. We all depend on each other. Yes, even the king depends on the labor of the workers he is oblivious to. Someone, somewhere, is doing a job you are not doing. There are some jobs some people cannot do. This is why, as humans, we depend on others in the first place. This is the very reason everyone deserves the same level of respect. We constantly hear of people doing things supposedly all by themselves as if they never needed anyone else's help for their achievements, which is simply not true. The idea that someone can be a strong, independent individual is nonsense. It's ridiculous. As a species, we are interdependent. When we take into consideration all the people I mentioned here and all the jobs they are doing, in many cases, the jobs they have are not even a choice. If they wanted to, they could be doing whatever their hearts desire. We always hear slogans such as, follow your heart, or make money doing what you love. Unfortunately, it's not always practical, nor realistic. We don't all have such a luxury. Not everyone gets to have their dream job or do whatever it is they want to do. So, therefore, they have to do with what they have. When you make the best of what you have, you become happier and content and live a fulfilled life. In the world of work, no one is more important than the other. As human beings, we depend on each other. Everyone is just as vital. So, getting back to the broccoli and the process required to get it to our dinner tables, as you can see, we are all in this network together. We all depend on each other. I depend on all the aforementioned people, so therefore I have immense respect for everyone who contributes to the system that makes sure I get the food I need into my local supermarket. So, to conclude, to all the farmers out there who grow delicious broccoli, thank you. To everyone I depend on who may never get to meet, thank you. It is here that I express my utmost respect to everyone out there who give me what I need. I commend everyone who works and makes an effort. I hope your efforts are recognized and that you get all the acknowledgement you deserve. It is here that I give praise to you. Take good care of yourselves.